Well, good morning, everyone, and happy Halloween. Ooh. So, I am a day late again. Can you hear the rooster? Oh my goodness. So, I have a few things to share. I only made 3 things, or 3 patterns, one of each on 2 and then several on the other, and started another that's not finished. But I had to take a break from black. So last time we spoke, I had started another cat, and I still needed to make its head and then sew all the pieces together. I had the tail and the body finished. So I completed that, and then Shannon came out with a modification for her Zazzy Dragon. So you know I had to try that. Then I had purchased the Corgi pattern, and it came with 3 other dogs. So I wanted to try one of the other dogs, and that one is started but not finished. I got good news from the dungeon. Haven't been paid again yet, but since Friday, and this was, Jenna told me yesterday, but since Friday, she went into work and she noticed that a lot of things were gone. So she checked in their inventory system. The Jumbo Turtle sold, Jack sold, Sally sold, a Soot Sprite, 2 Voodoo Dolls. I'm trying to remember what else it was, but it was quite a bit, I thought, for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, for 5 days. It was quite a bit. So I need to send some more things in there, but I kind of want to wait till I'm paid first. And so some of this prep is for there. But what I did is I sent all my remaining Halloween items in there, and Jack, Sally, the Voodoo Dolls, or not Sally, Jack, Sam, the Voodoo Dolls, they sold. So there's still, to my knowledge, I haven't been up there to look, there's still 3 Halloween squid and Billy and the Sanderson sisters. And I have a feeling, unfortunately, that the Sanderson sisters aren't going to sell, regardless of where they're at. Which is kind of sad because they're really cute. So let's take a look at what I made. Like I said, I needed a break from black because, oh my goodness, you'll understand why here in a minute. So I finished my cat. No big feet because the body I already had done, the tail I had done, and it just needed its head and then the head and the tail to be sewn on. So I worked on this Sunday, and I finished this. So he has green eyes, aren't they pretty? So Shannon posted on Instagram that she was coming out with this modification with another crochet artist for her Zazzy the Dragon pattern. And when I saw the pictures, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this. Where do I find the modification? So I had to wait for it to be posted. So it was finally posted. I went over and got the mod, broke out the black yarn again. So 2.5 of my 9 skeins that I just got are gone already. So before I show you, I have to tell you the whole story. So I want to make this modification, but I have questions because this is a very popular dragon in animated movies. So I'm talking to Heather, and she's like, you've really got to watch the movie. So I caved. I looked to see if I could find it somewhere that it was streaming for free, and it was not. So I had to rent it on Prime. So Jenna and I, Sunday night or Monday night, I don't remember, not important which day it was, we watched How to Train Your Dragon. And it was actually pretty good. And that's a lot coming from me because I am not a cartoon or animated or claymation or anything like that. My son, when he was little, he drove me nuts with it. Not my thing. But we watched it, and it was pretty good. It has come a long way since my son was little. So, another reason for me watching it, besides just Heather suggesting me watching it, is I wanted to get it right. I wanted to, so that when somebody sees this, they know exactly what it is. So, I made Toothless. And the pattern says to use 35 millimeter eyes, and I actually did it this time. I have a real hard time with the giant eyes. I don't know why. I just do. But seeing this movie and how big Toothless's eyes were, I was kind of okay with this. Well, all my glitter discs for my eyes, for this size eye that I have, it's all rainbow. And I'm like, I need green. So I had to make my own eyes. And let me tell you, I made a giant mess when I made these eyes. Oh my gosh. I'm texting back and forth with Heather, and I'm like, why isn't this working? I did 3 layers of the glitter, and I could still see through it. And I'm like, am I supposed to paint the back of these? You know, what am I supposed to do? So the 3rd layer of glitter, I added dye to the mixture, the resin and the glitter, to try and make the back solid. Still didn't help. So I ended up, after the 3 layers, and I had sticky resin. No matter how long I left it under the lights, it was sticky. So I watched a video on why my resin is sticky, and they had 2 suggestions. Take a clear cup and place it over the top and put it under the lights. And it has something to do with the oxygen in the air and the movement, and it was really interesting the way it was being explained. So that didn't work. The other thing is to put it in water and then put it back under the lights. And that worked. The sticky was gone. So once I got the sticky to go away, I painted the back of it over top of the resin with white nail polish. And then I think it turned out pretty good. But man, I had such a mess on my hands. So because I watched the movie, I added his ears up here. Now I had to do them kind of small because these skin tabs, because I don't really think they're horns, because he could move them, were kind of big and took up a lot of space. In the pictures on the modification, it didn't show whether or not they put spikes on it, but I did. Because when I watched the movie, he had spikes. And then last night, we watched movie number 2, and he has double spikes. So there wouldn't have been enough space on here for me to do double spikes. He's just, maybe if it was done out of Home Slim, then there would have been enough room if I used the Parfait with the Home Slim, to make the spikes, but I couldn't do a double row. So, and I wanted to make sure I got the red on the proper side. So I'm like, all right, so if he's facing me, it's on this side, right? And Jenna and I are going back and forth about this. And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute now. See this? This is the dragon. And I'm looking at the dragon. So the red is on my right, his left, if he is facing you. So his left facing this way, my right. Which is something that is super confusing in patterns, because they'll say, this is the right side, this is the left side. Well, is it the critter's right side, or is it my right side? Have to figure that one out. So I get it all put together, take it outside, take some pictures, go to show Shannon. And after I posted it, I realized, oh crap, I forgot to put his wings on. I thought I was finished and I had to sew his wings on. So now he has his wings. He is officially complete. This will be the only time I ever make this. I had to do it once so that I could say that I did. Just not in black. That was just so... My lighting is so poor. I really need to do something about lightings. I had a couple of good suggestions in my last video about different types of lights that I'm looking into. But yeah, it was just, the lighting made it miserable. So I did those. After I finished those, and both of those, well, the cat, because I had most of it done, wasn't that time consuming. But because I took a break and watched the movie and did not crochet while watching the movie, that's all I got finished on Sunday was the cat. Toothless took me Monday and Tuesday. Most of Monday and part of Tuesday. And then I started the dog, which is not finished. And his ends aren't even weaved in yet. But this is his head. I think it's going to look really cute when it's done. So I'm about a third of the way through the body. And I said, you know what, let me set this aside, take a break. Because I need to feel like I am getting something accomplished. And there are a few things that I needed for the market and for the dungeon. So we made turtles. And what I did is I got out all my little like end pieces of Sweet Snuggles Light. And I was going to do it like, what do they call it? Brain dead. I can't think of the word now. But anyways, I made a bunch of shells, just the top shell, out of the ones where I had just small amounts of yarn left. And then I had to break it out some other colors. And then I used different colors, you know, for the fins or legs and the head. So we did Myrtle. Now this one was not the end, you know, the small ones. I just wanted to put these two colors together. So we did this one. And I thought, let's see, the pattern says to use, I want to say it said 10 millimeter eyes. but because I was using thicker yarn, I wanted to go up. So I was thinking an 18 millimeter eye would be good, but I think I mixed some 20 millimeter eyes in my 18 millimeter eye slot, and I think I put 20s on these, which is fine, but I didn't have a whole lot of color choices again for the disc, and I was like not breaking all that stuff out again to make another big mess. So anyways, this one we gave silver eyes to. So we have one. And this one, again, was one that was not scraps. I just wanted to use the dark green. So it's amazing how when you sew, all the little pieces of polyfill that you see poking through after the fact. So he got some pretty green eyes. I don't know if that's showing up. But these two were the only two that was not made with scrap. Now, then I started to, what is the word I am looking for? So I made a bunch of shells. I did coral and pink and purple and aqua and a couple of variegateds. So we have light pink and pinkish purple eyes. And when I do the legs on these, I cannot, for the life of me, do it the way the pattern says to do it. So I just do it how I do it. Like on this pattern, this round part is facing forward, and crocheting them in, if I do that, then they come, the legs poke all the way forward, which I guess wouldn't be a bad thing, but I like them like this so I can tuck them under and then it sits. So we have the light pink and purple. Now this light green was a partial skein, but it was a bigger partial skein. So we have this light purple. I've used all of the leftover pink. I think all of this. And it got the purplish pink eyes. Then we did coral. This one I know I used all of the leftover piece. And this one got the silver eyes. So then, by the time I get to this point, it's time for Heather's live. So I'm working on the turtles while I'm doing the live. You know, like I have a split screen on the computer. Heather's over here and the pattern is over here, so that if I needed to refer back to the pattern, I can. And I'm working on this next turtle. And this one was a variegated, and I did not use all of this, but I ran into an issue. I did not have enough of this to finish the whole thing. So I had to do the belly in the same color as the top, which is no big deal. It was just like, more color changes. So this one also got the silver eyes because I did not have anything that would go with it. Well, then I get to this next one, which really needed the silver eyes, but now I've used all my silver discs. So before I started, I started this one, I had the head and the legs made, and of course the shell, because I pre-made a bunch of shells. And then Jen and I watched movie number 2 for How to Train Your Dragon. And for me, this one was like kind of predictable. Like when they meet this dragon master, I'm like, that's a girl. wait a minute, is that his mom? Like certain parts of it were very predictable, but it was still good. We enjoyed it. So, and I have to rent these on Amazon, and I'm almost out of points. So the next one I'll have to actually pay for if we watch number 3. So I did this one, and I did the black, which I think is so pretty. But I was like, what color am I gonna do? His legs, none of these will, like, I don't know, just didn't fit my vision. So I did it with white, and I think it turned out so cool, but it really needed the silver eyes. But now I've used them all. So it got green. So I think I'm down to just green, and that pinkish purple is all I have left after doing these turtles for that size eye. I don't even think I have any gold. So the last one, and I had, like I said, I pre-made the shells, was the aqua. And I was like, what am I gonna put with it for the legs and the head? So I had to think about that one. So I decided to do gray. And I think the gray turned out really nice with it. And green eyes, because I'm limited. So we did that. So that is a total of, I believe, 8. 5, 4, 8, yes. 8 Myrtle the Turtles. Now a couple of those are for the dungeon and the others are for market. Because I sent 2 turtles. So I sent the jumbo turtle that I made a while back, and I sent a Myrtle the turtle. Well, Myrtle the turtle sold first, and then the jumbo turtle sold. I won't be doing a jumbo turtle again because the yarn is way too expensive. I did that out of number 7 yarn. Like I bought from Hobby Lobby that camo yarn, and then I had to order. I didn't realize it was a number 7 until I got home, and I'm like, ooh, wow, this is really thick. So I had to order a number 7, and it's just too expensive. So, like, I put a $42 price tag on it, which I'll get about $31, $32 out of it, somewhere around there, because of, you know, the Coffee Dungeon's percentage. But it took a while, and it was at quite a few markets. People would pick it up, they liked it, but as soon as they saw the price, they didn't want to do it. Now at market, I had $30 on it because that's what I wanted for it. But I still wanted 30. If I would have left it at 30 for the dungeon and they take the percentage, I would have just got my money back for the yarn. I wouldn't have made a profit at all. So I put it at 42. And the very last thing that I made, and this is the next mass produced. What is the word I am looking for? Oh, it's gonna bug me. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and think of the darn word. Batch crocheting? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of it. But this is the next one, is my little mini turtle pattern, because I sold the last of what I had at the last market. So we need some little minis. And I haven't made one in a while. So I had to, like, what? So, and I have plenty of Parfait Chunky that I need to use up scraps on. So I could probably make a couple of 100 turtles and still have scraps left over. But I gotta get some polyfill. I am almost out of polyfill. And Toby is sitting at the door looking at me to come in. He is getting a little break because he's got a big ouchie on the side of his head and he has to wear a cone so he doesn't scratch it. But I gave him some grooming time. So I took it off, washed it, fed him, and he got to go out on the porch. So, you know, because he was like, you know, licking his paws and cleaning everything. And he is like not liking that cone at all. But I need to go and take care of him, and I'll see you in the next video.